if you don't travel, you think your mom is the best cook. So when I watched like other schools performing, other teams performing for their schools, I realized how good some other people can be. It's sort of like start benchmarking yourself against others who are doing what you think is extremely amazing, and you're thinking, wow, why didn't we ever think of doing this? So we are good, but there are other people who are even better.
They are
great than us. So what can we learn from them? So for me, that was the biggest lesson, never to ever think that I am the best.
Hey Mary, your story is powerful, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. Let's transition into, you do extremely well in CPE, primary school. So well that you are the top student that the school has ever had.
Yes.
You go to Come Go Free school, high school.
Yes.
Is it a boys' school? Just because now I'm not sure anymore.
now let me put you to rest. Now Kagofiri is a girls' school.
Oh, phew.
It was presented as a girls' school.
Okay.
Now the joke was that now, so we have reported, and we are 4 streams. So in my stream, I was in 1G. So
and this is boarding.
It's a boarding school.
Okay.
It's a few kilometers from my place. So actually I have to take 2 vehicles to get there, to Nyeri town, and then it's near the Kagumo College. For those who may know Kagumo, where Kagumo College is.
My dad went to Kagumo.
But still in Tetu, yeah. So we report, and the first thing the teacher says, class, time for you to know each other, because we are like 40 girls from different places. So everyone does, and it's my turn. Okay, go ahead. So I stand up. So say your name and the school you have come from. So me, I stand up and say, my name is Mary Wangari, and I'm from Teto Boys Primary School. Then the class bursts out laughing. So me, I'm looking at the teacher. The teacher is looking at me also in disbelief. So the teacher asked me, so did you hear my question? I said, yes. And I repeat, my name is Mary Wangari. And I come from Teto Boys. Now this time I even say Teto Boys Primary School, in case anyone had not heard.
They burst out.
So they burst out laughing now even more. So me, I'm wondering, hey, what's the joke here?
Because you're used to
How come? I mean, for me, that was the name of my school. And I just went there for 7 years. So what's the problem? So the teacher now, in a joking version, asked me, so are you a girl? This is a girls' school? Oh, that's when I realized, so that's the joke.
That's the thing,
Yeah, so that's the joke. So we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you explained to them the
So
whole
I explained to them now. I explained to them
the
the history. Yeah. And they laughed, of course. They always used to laugh at me. But they never told me to prove that I'm a girl. Anyway. Now, let me tell you a joke about Teto Boys again. Now, a few years ago, I think around 2020, now the church decides to honor my grandfather because you remember he had donated land.
Yes.
And they said they will name the school after him in his honor.
Wow.
Posthumously. So this was the perfect time now to change the name. So they changed the name to St. Matthew's.
Oh, nice.
Do you know what the current name of the school is now? After the change? St. Matthew's Teto Boys Primary School. So I looked at that signboard and I'm like, come on, what was the problem with you? You had the perfect opportunity to change these things. Yeah, to rebrand it as a big mixed school. Yes. But you know, it is tutored to boys.
Yes.
But they
And
added,
it's a mixed school.
it's a mixed school.
So is the girls' school still there?
Yeah, the girls' school is still there, doing very well.
That's
yeah,
funny.
doing very well. So that's where we are now. Teto Boys is still there,
Yes,
but now
so just
it's
with the
named
St. Matthews.
after my grandfather.
That's it.
But it doesn't matter because, I mean, for us who went there, it was just the perfect school.
Have you ever gone back as an alumni?
Yes, yes. Yeah, we have some programs there, a few upgrades there.
Yeah.
I'm now actually planning to go there with a book, talk to the students. I haven't had a chance yet, but I want to do that this year.
I know the Bible says when you give with your right hand, don't even let your left hand know.
Yes.
But when I introduced you, I intentionally said you're not a philanthropist, you're a giver.
Yes.
One of the things that gives me joy is when I hear stories of the give back. So
Yes.
and you've sort of moved quickly past it, but I just want to honestly ask you, you actually have gone back to this institution and supported or helped in terms of revamping it. Can I ask, what have you done?
Yeah, we have had programs for upgrading the facilities.
Nice.
Because, you know, at some point, you know, the classes were not doing very well. So what I need to do now is to talk to the students. Because, you know, sometimes it's just by inspiration.
Yep.
And I've done that for many schools. This year, I actually have a date in March to even go to Kagofiri. You seem to like that one very much.
Nice.
So we have just agreed on a date for mentorship for the students as they start the year. Last year I did Bishop Gatimo, which is the school I went to for my A-levels. But I've also done schools that I've not been to, including one in Makueni, run by the Holy Ghost Fathers. I did that last year also. You know, just to inspire and tell them, the young people, that if you do the right thing, you work very hard, stay focused, you can make it. Look at me. This is where I'm coming from. And this is where I am now. Why can't it happen to you? So I've been doing a lot of that, and I want to do. Of course, time is always a challenge because I'm also in a very busy office.
Yes.
But as far as I can, I do that. And I also donate books.
Nice.
When I do that. So it could be vitamins of success for the younger students, or success in high school and beyond. So those are the kind of books that I have donated, you know, to various schools. Sometimes they also even tell me we are short of chemistry books or we are short of biology books, and I buy some for them. I've done that for one or two schools. So and that's why I said it is for us to just do what we can with what we have.
I love that.
Because if you wait until you have a lot, that moment may never come. So, but if I do a little bit, I donate a few books here, and the other person donates a few books here, then over time, the students have what they need to prepare themselves. And a lot of it is also not even the academic side of it. It is the inspiration.
Yep.
To work hard, to dedicate themselves, to commit themselves, and to see a better future for themselves, because that is what the talk sometimes give people. And because sometimes they are coming from a very hopeless position where they think, what good can come out of me? But when you talk to them, they feel encouraged that I can become somebody of importance.
And it's not just inspiration. I'm going to keep, this one I'll keep telling you. It's aspiration as well.
An aspiration.
They can see somebody who is like them.
Yes.
It's different than seeing Obama. You know, Obama, like,
they can relate.
Michelle Obama, you get what
I
I mean?
they can relate.
They can look at you and say, she's from here. She's from Tetu. She's from the boys' school.
Yeah, we even know her home.
Yes.
When I launched my book, there's a lady who is my senior actually, who read it. And she called me very excited, and she said, I've finished reading. Because the book is small, and that was deliberate. You can finish it in 3 to 4 hours of solid reading, depending on how fast or slow a reader you are. So I've finished. And I was like, so what do you think? And she told me, do you see where you've written your name, Mary Wangari? Rub that one off and write my name. it's my story. I mean, for me, that was so, I mean, I was so excited. I was so inspired myself. Yeah. Because I was just like, people can relate to this story because it happened to them. Yeah. If it did not happen to them, for the younger generation, probably it happened to their parents from the stories that they hear or they are told, or somebody else they know. So you can perfectly relate to it. But for me, it's not just a story. I think it's just like, what lessons can we pick from here? How does it encourage us to become better? So that's really basically the essence of it.
Okay. Yeah. And let me say, if you want the book, check the description, check the pinned comments. You're going to see a link to that. The book is available worldwide. And we're going to have a full conversation just about the book. Right now, it was just flowing in the conversation. Yeah. Hence why we touch on it. Okay, let's enter high school. You announce and you say, I'm from the boys' school. You get into the school. It's a boarding school, which is different because now you're not day school.
Yes.
Tell me more about the high school experience.
Now, the high school was, of course, a bigger school coming from the primary school. But I must say that I also had amazing teachers. You know, teachers who also encouraged me. Because I think when you're coming from a disadvantaged background, sometimes you tend to retreat in your corner. But I had teachers who encouraged me. I had a music teacher who forced me to join the choir because he said, you can do well in extracurricular. So I joined the school choir. And at some point, we competed up to the national festival, the national levels in the Kenya Music Festival, and got a prize for it.
Hold on, for you to compete until the nationals, that means you then left Nyeri.
Yeah, because we have done the Nyeri bit, we have beat everyone else, and here now we are talking about the Tumutumu girls, the Gandu girls, Kagumo high school boys, that was a boys' school, and everybody else. We went up to the national level. So we went to KICC.
So you left Nyeri for the first time in your life?
Yes.
When you were in high school?
But we were driven in the headmistress's car.
Before this, had you ever left Nyeri?
I had not left Nyeri at all.
Yeah.
I had not left Nyeri. So that was the first time I left Nyeri. And the second time was when I came for the national show. What do you call the Jamhuri? Yes. The showground.
Yes.
The trade fair. I think they call it the trade fair now. Yes. That time it was called the show.
Yes.
So that was the second time. That time we came in a bus.
The whole
because
school,
we were many students.
Yes.
I think it was from 4s or from 3s or something. But let me tell you, the fun about these trips was the fact that you would get a soda, a Coke soda, and half a loaf of bread. That was the fun part of it. Yep. So they used to have packed lunch. Yep. And there was a soda and there was
half a loaf
of bread.
You come to KICC, perform, and go back same day.
Yeah, we had to go back the same day. Okay. Because remember, there is no accommodation here. So, and you're in an organized group, so you have to stick together. So you also don't get now the chance, to explore Nairobi, what is where, because you go, KICC, go do your performance and back home. That's how back to school rather.
Yes.
That's how it used to be. Show the same, go see as a group, and then in the evening, bus back home to school.
Yeah.
So that's how it used to be.
What did that experience of exposure? You see, traveling, exposure can be just leaving your location.
Yes.
So you leaving Nyeri and coming to Nairobi, what did that do for you?
First of all,
you hadn't seen from TV in Nairobi in terms of, you didn't have a TV at home. Did you even have electricity at home?
You're asking too many questions now.
My head is just running with questions.
The first time I saw TV, Richard, was in high school.
Oh, okay.
Because in Kagofiri, we had a TV in the dining hall. And we were allowed to watch it from Friday evening and Saturday evening and Sunday, I think, in the evening, over the weekend only. And you could just go there, watch news and But you see, it was also restricted what you could watch because it's for everyone. So it was usually basically the news.
It's KBC.
That time KBC News. KTN was just coming. I think it had just started, if I'm not wrong. So it was very restricted viewing. And that was my first experience with a TV. What we had at home was a transistor radio, which only used to air Voice of Kenya.
Yes.
Both Kiswahili, and then later they introduced the English version, Voice of Kenya. So that was the media that we had. The good thing is that they also used to air some school programs. So they would have social studies for, CRE classes. They had some teachers who used to do their curriculum on the radio. And that was about all. So the radio was actually more educational that time, more than entertainment. We also had entertainment kidogo, the Maroon Commandos and those old time, the Zilizopendwa music. But that was very limited. It's not like today when you have 1,001 channels.
That's
you
true.
can watch
in fact, even
entertainment.
KTN came in 92. So
then I was in a campus that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when it only came in Nairobi.
Yes, it was very restricted.
Yes.
So actually it was KBC.
Yes.
The only thing is, they extended the hours. Because initially it used to be like a 2 hour only, then they kept on 1 to 3, 1 to 5, 1 to 7, then they went 1 to 10 p.m. And then now eventually it became like a 24 hour kind of, Yeah, so now going back to your question, what that exposure did to me, the first thing is appreciating. We always say that if you don't travel, you think your mom is the best cook. So when I watched like other schools performing, other teams performing for their schools, I realized how good some other people can be. It's sort of like start benchmarking yourself against others who are doing what you think is extremely amazing, and you're thinking, wow, why didn't we ever think of doing this? So we are good, but there are other people who are even better.
They're
great than us. So what can we learn from them? So for me, that was the biggest lesson, never to ever think that I am the best. There's always room for becoming better, and there are others who are even doing better than you. And you can look at that from two perspectives. The first one is, what does that do to you? Does it encourage you to reach further, go up further? Or does it make you retreat to think, oh, you mean I'm that poor? You mean, hey, those guys are good. And you give up. So those are the two reactions. So if you take that second reaction of, oh, there's nothing I can do, I can't do it as well, then you don't progress. But if you take it as a benchmark and say, I can also do as well as these guys, then it's good for you. Because now it becomes continuous improvement. It becomes a positive challenge for you. And hopefully next time you will work at the areas you need to work so that you can become as good or even better than your opponents. So for me, that was what that did for me, other than, of course, enjoying the soda and the bread. Yeah.
But there's something you've said, and I really credit your mom. For you to see something better than you, and you you gravitate towards it's challenging you to be better. It shows the foundation that your mom had instilled in you that made you look at that from that perspective.
Yes.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. Because, I think what she was telling me is that you certainly must become better than me. And rise above my circumstances. Rise above your circumstances, where I am, because I don't have much, but you have the opportunity to rise above.
I get it.
That's what she told me.
Okay.
And that is what I worked at. Now, the difference also is where two individuals receiving the same kind of advice and how they take it.
Yes.
So there are some who will say, what do you know? See, now me, I'm in secondary school. I've even gone a higher level than you went. She went up to primary school. So you ignore and say, she's not capable of advising me. And we see this, especially a lot in students, the young people. You ignore the advice because you feel you're more educated and you know more than whoever is telling you. But you can also react in a different way and say, even if she did not go to school, she has a point. And I'm going to work at that and try to become better than her. That's what I did.
Hey. Mary, you're a rare gem. What? Yeah. And thank you so much for the insight and wisdom that you're sharing. Back to this high school. So what does that do for you? At this time, are you beginning to think this? Are you beginning to think this is then what? Is your mind opening up to decide this is then what I want to do in my life? Have you said, I want to be this?
At the back of my mind, I knew one thing. And one thing was that I wanted to become better than my mom. For sure. And I wanted to get out of the poverty that was brought up in. That's what I knew. And I knew that education would help me to do that. The how I'll be cheating you, if I said I knew exactly what I wanted, like in terms of career, no, at that point, no. The only thing I knew is I'm working hard and getting very good grades and going to a good high school. Because that time, secondary school was in two parts. You go up to Form 4,
then
we do KCE, and then you go to the A-levels. I went to the A-levels. So I knew I wanted to do well so I can go to an even better school in A-levels.
Yeah.
And I was lucky because I was top student. I received a lot of... Yeah.
So what's this working hard? Like, what does it mean when you say you are working hard? Like, paint me a picture. Because now there's a pattern. So you definitely know what working hard is. I mean, there's a pattern of you excelling above the norm.
Yes.
So it means that your working hard is paying off. But I want to understand, for you, what did working hard mean?
What it meant is that I totally focused on my education. And you see, I saw this in some of my colleagues in school then. You know, there are some students who used to be, get any excuse to be out of school. Oh, I'm sick, so I need to be taken to the dispensary. I'm sick, so I need to be taken to the general hospital in town. I'm sick, oh, now I need a few days off. And they would be in and out. And unfortunately, also some got caught up in some social malpractices. We still even had, it was not very prevalent, but we also had students being caught in, the drunken kind of situations, alcohol, running away from school.
Boys.
Exactly. All those kind of things. So for me, I just said, I have one singular focus, and it is to study.
Wow.
All those other things, and of course the extracurricular activities, which are also part of it in terms of excelling. Anything else, I'll leave it maybe for another day.
Wow.
And I think that made the difference between how some people turned out and how others turned out. Because there are some, to be honest, we also had girls who dropped out of school due to pregnancy. Several of them. That used to happen every day. Every time we opened school, we had a few girls dropping out. And you see, that time it was very difficult for you to come back to school. These days, I think it's much easier for you to come back because policies have changed and all that, and girls are being encouraged to go back to school when they become pregnant. So that was the difference. So I really focused on working hard. But there's also another aspect of it, and it is the discipline of doing what you're supposed to be doing at the right time. In school, we also had duties, like you'd be assigned duties to clean the corridors, to clean the classes, clean the dorms, and other chores. Because there were no workers to do that. We did the work ourselves as the students. So every duty that I was given, I did. Because somebody has to do the job. And that is how the community works. Everyone has a role to play. So if it's a school community, if it's your responsibility to maintain the flower bed, do it and do it well. I think that's why I also developed the principle that whatever you are given, the task you are given to do, and this happens in school, in the family, in church, in the office, do it as if it's a God-given responsibility or task. It's like you are reporting to God. So do it very well, even if no one is watching. But sometimes we want to just work when the teacher is there, they are checking, have you done your homework? No, we need to be self-led and supervise ourselves. And that is what some of us lack. And that is why you see some people falling out of the way at some point, whether it's in the office or in school or even in church responsibilities. You're given a responsibility, but you cannot deliver because you don't have that singular commitment. So for me, I said, the task at hand, I do it. And not just do it, but do it well. That has been my mantra.
We can end this city right now because a lot of people ask me why I dwell so much time in the beginning years. We want to hear about her working at Equity and all of these other things. But I'm very cognizant that this foundation plays the most pivotal role in the rest of the story. Right now, I can instantly tell how you work at Equity. I can tell the excellence, the diligence. You've talked about how you wake up. You said that the waking up to go to do KICC milk. Maybe we just ask, what time do you get to the office? I guarantee. Today I told you I'm coming here by 7 o'clock, and you're like, sir. I've told that to a few people who have interviewed in the city, and they're like, hey, you guys, come on, bana. Who's 7? Why?
Wow. Okay.
I just want to see if my theory is right.
It is true. I wake up. My alarm is for 4:45 a.m. So I tell that to some people,
number 3,
and I'm like,
going to 4.
So somebody asked me, okay, so 4:45. So what do you do after you wake up at 4:45? I subscribe to the 5 a.m. club. I'm sure you've seen a bit of write-up on that. But it just simply means that, there's a song that we used to be taught in school and we used to sing almost every day. Early to bed, early to rise, make someone healthy and wealthy and wise. So I'm a subscriber to that.
Oh, man.
But then again, don't tell me to take you out at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Because I'll be sleeping. So I sleep early, I wake up early.
What time do you normally... So you're up at 4:45?
Yes.
Can I just hear about... how to understand your routine?
So
And is this to date?
Yeah, to date.
So like on Monday, this is a constant... This is still...
Yeah. My alarm is daily, weekday,
okay.
4:45. So there are 3 things. So the first one is I just do a bit of exercise here at home. I don't do gyms because I tried gyms and they didn't work for me. Those ones out there. So I do it here. And then I do quite a bit of meditation. And I also do the spiritual bit. Because I'm a Catholic, I do... there's a priest who does daily devotions in the morning and in the evening called Father Eustace. So I listen to his daily bread meditation in the morning. The reason why I do that is because, you see, the moment I get to the office, it will be too busy.
Yes.
External meetings, calls, you're up and down. So you not have that time for quiet reflection. So I do it. Sometimes I do it as I do the bike. I'll listen to the readings of the day and the sermon for the day and things like that. Sometimes I'll just listen to some inspirational bit, either an inspirational talk or... So it depends on my mood also for the day.
I get it.
And if there's something specific I'm dealing with, I'll look for something relevant that will help me to structure my thoughts around that.
Okay.
So like today morning, because I was coming here,
Yes.
I did an inspirational talk on a few things about life, you know, so something that helps. Now, that's the routine. And then, of course, I'll take the shower after that. I have about 45 minutes to prepare and leave for the office by latest 6:15. 6:15 is important because of traffic.
Yes.
Because 5 minutes late, you get into some not very interesting traffic. So on a normal day, if I'm in Nairobi, I'm in the office by 6:50, 6:45, 6:50. And that also allows me quiet time in the office to sort out a few things before people start coming in. So by 7:30, by 8, I'm now ready for meetings, external things, anything that comes my way.
You know,
but let me tell you, something you talked about, the statistics to show that to create a habit, you only need to practice it for 66 days. So if you want to establish any habit, just try that for 66 days. By the 66th day, you will do it without thinking. That is just how it works. I mean, it's just part of you. You create a habit and it just gets ingrained. So sometimes I even get surprised at people are getting surprised that I wake up at 4:45. Why? But for me, that's what I do. I don't even think about it.
Whether the alarm rings or not, it's even in your body.
Yeah, exactly. Your body clock just gets used to that. And that holds true for any habit that you'd want to create. Because remember, we are not created as perfect human beings. We are created as human beings with some defects or shortcomings. But sometimes you make a resolution and say, this is how I want to, going forward, behave. Or this is the trait that I want to exhibit going forward. So you just start practicing that and become very aware that it is something you have to deal with. And then soon it becomes a habit. And after that, you can't actually stop it. Because it's just become part of who you are.
It forms your identity.
Exactly. It becomes part of your DNA. Yeah.
Mary. You're dropping gems. As we say, the youth say. Another question before we transition into A-levels. Have you formed relationships from this period of time that still carry on till today?
In school?
In school.
Yes. In my book, there's one interview by Sister Catherine. Sister Catherine is my high school friend, secondary school friend, Kagofiri friend.
Kagofiri, yes.
Yeah, we actually used to be in the same dorm. We shared the same dorm, and we became very good friends. And then we lost touch for a while, and then later on we reconnected, and up to today, she remains a very good family friend.
Nice.
There's also another friend called Lucy, who is also in the book, who I connected in when I went to Gandu. And up to today, she lives in Nyeri, but even up to today, I cannot hold an event here without her, or even at home.
Yeah.
Because now she's a great, now actually not even now my friend, she has become a friend to all of us in the family. I go to my brother's events, me, I've not invited her, she's there. I go to my nieces and nephews' graduations, she's there. So actually it becomes bigger than me, that friendship. That's what has happened.
That's powerful. So you did form some solid relationships and friendships.
Yeah. And even when I launched my book last year, I had 2 of my villagers come all the way from Nyeri to the event.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just depends on how you view people. Because me, I believe that everybody who comes to our lives comes for a reason. But there are some people who come for a season.
Yes.
But there are those who are really genuine and they come for a reason. And those are the ones who will always be there. It doesn't matter. You may get out of touch for 5 years, whatever, but eventually you reconnect or you go looking for them. Yeah.
Okay. You don't do KCPE, you do K? For secondary?
Secondary, we did KCE, Kenya Certificate of Education.
Education.
Yes.
And then you did well.
Yes, and then
how did they grade it at that time?
That time now it was Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4.
Okay.
So I got Division 1 of 20 points.
Out of?
Division 1 of 20 points. So that's the first division. And you can go up to 4th division. So the best is Division 1. The worst is Division 4.
I get. So you got Division 1?
Yes.
And you got 20 points
20
in that?
20 points, yes.
So now that becomes your next transition?
Yeah, so now the transition now is to the high school, the A-levels.
Okay.
That was the way the system was that time.
Different school now?
Yeah, so I went to Bishop Gatimo,
okay.
Gandu Girls. It's a popular,
even till today.
Very well-performing school. It's again a missionary-run school. So I was there for 2 years. And there was also a story about this one. Because when I went, I wanted to do sciences. Because I loved chemistry. I loved biology. And I was also very good in maths. So my idea was to be a science student.
Yes.
Now, but I was admitted to do arts. I was not amused. So when I reported, the first stop was the headmistress. The headmistress was called Miss Waweru. And I told her, excuse me, but I want to change to sciences. She looked at me and told me, no, you stay in arts.
What?
I couldn't believe it.
What?
Yeah, she insisted, stay in arts. You're not moving. At that point, to be honest, I was not amused. I hated her, How can you say no? And this is what I want. Say, no, go to class. She stood her ground. So dejectedly, I went to class. Now, again, the way you look at life is, so I've got a no for an answer. So what do I do now? So, and again, there are two reactions. She has said no, so I'll rebel. And she'll see who I am. Or you just say, okay, fine. If it's not possible, I move ahead. So I decided to move ahead with the arts.
Wow.
Despite my original thoughts on what I wanted or what I really thought I loved to do. So I went to the arts class and I did very well. We were about 30 students in the class. And out of the 30 students in the arts class in Gandu in 1986, 29 of us went direct to the university.
What?
Only one girl did not make it to university and she went to the other level of college, Because I just made a resolve. Okay, I can't have what I wanted, but I'll make the best out of what I got.
When life throws you, what's that saying?
Lemons.
Yes, when
life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
you
that was the principle.
A full cocktail. You made
okay. These days they have some fancy names. So I made a cocktail out of the lemon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And you got called to?
And then I was among in our low class, 16 students were from Gandu. What? Out of 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're taking a break. We're going to change some buttons, back up the card. We're coming back and we're continuing this story from her moving now to Nairobi. The story continues. Cut. Yeah.